How much of what you know is a product of your direct experiences, and how much is a result of inherent understanding? This question lies at the heart of a philosophical debate that has fascinated thinkers for centuries. We're all born into this world, but how much do we truly understand about it? Do our senses and experiences shape our understanding, or are there innate ideas at play? Today, we delve into the philosophy of empiricism, its roots and its relevance. Empiricism, as we know it, took root in the 17th and 18th centuries, but its underpinnings go much further back. The seeds of empiricism were sown in the fertile philosophical ground of ancient Greece, where great thinkers like Aristotle began to question the nature of knowledge. Aristotle, in contrast to his teacher Plato, argued that knowledge comes primarily from sensory experience, an idea that would later become a central tenet of empiricism. As centuries rolled on and the Middle Ages gave way to the Renaissance, these early inklings of empiricism lay dormant, overshadowed by religious dogma and Platonic idealism. But the flame of empiricism was not entirely extinguished, and as the Enlightenment dawned in the 17th century, it began to flicker once more. Enter John Locke, an English philosopher often hailed as the father of empiricism. Locke, like Aristotle before him, proposed that all knowledge stems from experience. In his seminal work, An Essay Concerning Human Understanding, Locke posited that the human mind at birth is a tabula rasa, a blank slate, and that all our ideas and knowledge are written upon this slate by our sensory experiences as we journey through life. This was a radical departure from the prevailing Cartesian view that some knowledge is innate, present in the mind from birth. Locke's ideas sparked heated debates, shaking the very foundations of philosophy and heralding a new era of empirical thought. Alongside Locke, other Enlightenment philosophers like George Berkeley and David Hume further refined and developed empiricism. They examined the nature of perception, the reliability of sensory information, and the limits of human understanding, contributing to a rich tapestry of empirical thought that continues to influence philosophy and science to this day. Thus, empiricism began its journey, challenging established norms and pushing the boundaries of human understanding. From the ancient halls of Aristotle's Lyceum to the bustling intellectual salons of Enlightenment Europe, empiricism has been at the forefront of our quest for knowledge, a testament to the enduring power of human curiosity and our ceaseless striving to comprehend the world around us. At its core, empiricism professes a simple but powerful idea: knowledge comes primarily from sensory experience. This approach to understanding the world around us hinges on a few fundamental principles. Firstly, empiricism emphasizes the importance of experience and observation. This principle suggests that our understanding of the world is shaped by our interactions with it. Our senses, sight, hearing, touch, taste, and smell, act as the conduits of information, providing us with raw data about the universe. This data is then processed by our brains, forming the basis of our knowledge. Secondly, empiricism promotes the idea of skepticism. Rather than accepting ideas and theories at face value, empiricists encourage doubt and questioning. This skepticism is not meant to breed cynicism, but rather to promote rigorous testing and verification. By questioning existing ideas and theories, we can refine our understanding and weed out misinformation. Thirdly, empiricism values inductive reasoning. This is a process of making broad generalizations from specific observations. For instance, if you observe that the sun rises every morning, you might conclude that the sun will rise every day. While this method has its limitations, it's a powerful tool for generating hypotheses and theories. Contrastingly, we have rationalism. Rationalists argue that knowledge can be gained independently of sensory experience, often through reason and innate ideas. While empiricism and rationalism may seem at odds, they often work in tandem. Rationalism can provide the theories and ideas, while empiricism tests them against reality. To wrap up, empiricism is a philosophy that prioritizes sensory experience, promotes skepticism, and values inductive reasoning. It encourages us to question, observe, and learn from our interactions with the world around us. But it's not a standalone approach. It often works alongside other philosophies like rationalism to provide a more complete understanding of the world. Empiricism, therefore, places our senses at the forefront of knowledge acquisition. It reminds us that our senses are not just passive recipients of information, but active participants in our quest for understanding. With its focus on tangible experiences, empiricism offers several advantages that have shaped philosophical and scientific thought. Empiricism, with its pragmatic nature, is a philosophy that thrives on concrete experiences, providing a solid framework for knowledge acquisition. Unlike other philosophies, it doesn't rely on abstract reasoning or innate concepts. Instead, it's grounded in the real world, making it more accessible and relatable. The empiricist approach insists that all knowledge comes from sensory experiences, rendering our understanding more practical and down to earth. What's more, empiricism is inherently testable. It proposes that for something to be accepted as knowledge, it must be verifiable through observable phenomena. This makes empiricism a cornerstone of the scientific method. It's the reason scientists conduct experiments, observe results, and draw conclusions based on empirical evidence. It's the force behind the development and testing of hypotheses, the formulation of theories, and the progress of scientific discovery. Furthermore, empiricism promotes intellectual humility. It acknowledges that our understanding of the world is limited to our experiences and perceptions. This humility has an important consequence. It encourages inquiry. By accepting that our knowledge has limits, we are motivated to seek more experiences, to observe, to question, and to learn. Empiricism also fosters a sense of individual empowerment. It suggests that each of us, through our experiences, can contribute to the collective pool of knowledge. We are not merely passive recipients of wisdom from authority figures or ancient texts. We are active participants in the pursuit of understanding, shaping our knowledge through our own experiences. Moreover, empiricism has played a crucial role in technological advancement. The emphasis on observation and experimentation has led to breakthroughs in numerous fields, from medicine to physics, from psychology to computer science. It's the philosophy that underpins the technological marvels we enjoy today. Empiricism, thus, serves as a solid foundation upon which we can test and build our knowledge. It equips us with a robust, practical and testable approach to understanding the world around us. It's a philosophy that has not only shaped our scientific thought, but has also profoundly influenced the way we live our lives. Like any philosophy, empiricism has its critics. It's important to consider its limitations and the arguments against it. First and foremost, one of the main criticisms of empiricism is its disregard for innate knowledge. The empiricist belief that all knowledge comes from sensory experience brushes aside the possibility of inherent or inborn understanding. Critics argue that certain concepts like morality or mathematical principles are universal and not learned through experience. This suggests that there may be some innate knowledge that we are born with, challenging the foundations of empiricism. Another significant criticism is empiricism's inability to explain abstract concepts. Empirical evidence is tangible and measurable, but how do we account for intangible ideas like love, justice, or beauty? These are not things we can touch, see, or measure, yet we understand and discuss them. Critics argue that the empiricist approach falls short in explaining these abstract concepts, as they cannot be directly observed or quantified. Moreover, empiricism places a heavy reliance on reliable sensory perception. It assumes that our senses provide an accurate representation of the world around us. But what if our senses deceive us? Optical illusions, for instance, demonstrate that our senses can be fooled, presenting a distorted version of reality. Critics argue that this reliance on sensory perception leaves room for error and can lead to false conclusions. And finally, there's the issue of induction. Empiricism relies on the principle of induction, making broad generalizations from specific observations. But critics point out that just because something has happened in a certain way in the past, it doesn't necessarily mean it will continue to happen that way in the future. This poses a problem for the empirical method, as it undermines its predictability and reliability. These criticisms challenge us to consider the limitations of our senses and the potential for knowledge beyond experience. Despite these criticisms, empiricism continues to influence our world today, particularly in the scientific realm. Its roots have grown deep into our modern understanding of reality. It's not just a dusty old philosophy, but a living, breathing part of how we interpret and interact with the world around us. In the realm of science, empiricism's fingerprints are everywhere. It underpins the scientific method. that systematic approach to understanding the world that has fueled our technological advances and medical breakthroughs. It's the principle that urges scientists to observe, experiment, and draw conclusions based on evidence, not just theory. Imagine a world without empiricism. We would be without the empirical data that informs our weather forecasts, the clinical trials that ensure the safety and efficacy of our medicines, or the astronomical observations that help us navigate the cosmos. Empiricism is the bedrock of our scientific understanding, the foundation on which we build our theories and predictions. But empiricism's influence extends beyond the laboratory. It's present in our everyday lives, shaping how we make decisions and understand our experiences. When we try a new recipe and tweak the ingredients based on the results, we're employing empiricism. When we check the reviews before purchasing a product, we're relying on empirical evidence. Empiricism, in essence, is the application of experience and observation in our quest for knowledge. So while empiricism may have its critics, its value in our modern world is undeniable. It's the philosophy that encourages us to look, to ask, to test, to observe. It's the philosophy that reminds us that our theories and beliefs must be grounded in the realities of the world around us. It's the philosophy that equips us to navigate the complexities of life with a sense of curiosity and a commitment to evidence-based understanding. Empiricism, in many ways, shapes our understanding of the world and our place in it. As we reflect on the philosophy of empiricism, we find it more than just a philosophical school of thought. It is, in fact, a way of life that insists on the significance of our direct experiences and observations. A doctrine that was brought to light by the likes of John Locke, George Berkeley, and David Hume. Empiricism asserts that our knowledge stems from our experiences, and it is these experiences that shape our understanding of the world. We've delved into the dawn of empiricism, tracing its roots back to the 17th and 18th centuries. A time of scientific revolution and enlightenment when thinkers began to challenge the established norms and sought to understand the world through their senses and observations, rather than relying on preconceived notions and divine revelations. We then explored the principles of empiricism. We saw how it values evidence and observation, how it encourages us to question, to probe, and to seek the truth through our senses. We examined its advantages, such as its emphasis on practicality and its promotion of skepticism. But we also acknowledged its limitations, like its potential to discount certain types of knowledge or its inability to explain abstract concepts. And of course, we looked at how empiricism continues to influence our modern world. We see its imprint in our education systems, our scientific research, and even in our daily decision-making processes. It is a philosophy that encourages us to rely on our experiences, to be skeptical, to question, and to constantly seek evidence. As we continue to question and explore, the philosophy of empiricism reminds us of the power of our experiences in shaping our understanding of the world. It prompts us to be active participants in our learning, to challenge assumptions, and to seek truth through experience and observation. It may not be without its limitations, but its influence and relevance cannot be denied. As we navigate through the complexities of life, let's remember the lessons of empiricism, to trust in our experiences, to question, and to always seek evidence.